Why do I run back to you like I don't mind if you fuck up my life? Another day, another headache in this hangover hotel. Getting used to the rhythm, yeah, I know this beat too well. Tunnel vision's got me feeling like you're the only one I see, but I know what's missing when I'm swimming in my lonely luxury. I'm wondering why do all the monsters come out at night? Why do we sleep when we want to hide? Why do I run back to you like I don't mind if you fuck up my life? Why am I a sucker for all your lies? Drawn out like laundry on every line. Why do I come back to you like I don't mind if you fuck up my life?
Happy Wednesday night, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast, week 13 edition. We got the Eagles at the Jets at MetLife Stadium after we just got embarrassed by the hands of the New York Giants with half the roster out. We go back up the turnpike like we never left, and we are going to show the Jets and the world what it means to be a playoff team in the NFC East. Just kidding. I think this team is absolutely trash, and I honestly think that we are actually going to lose to the Jets this week. I know I'm going right into it, but I have a theory, and it's not even a theory. This is just straightforward. Jalen Hurts, the worst team in the National Football League last week, loaded the box against Jalen Hurts, took out of the flats where he couldn't throw to the tight ends, made him throw downfield, and he couldn't do it. What do you think the Jets are going to do this week? They're going to have the same exact game plan. They're going to have Jalen Hurts throw the ball down the field, and he's going to do the same exact thing. You know, a lot of people think that Jalen Hurts couldn't be worse than he was last Sunday, which you might think in retrospect that maybe you're right. Maybe he can't be worse. Well, I'm going to tell you, not only is he going back to the same place where he just got embarrassed, but he's playing against a team that has nothing to lose, and he's hurt. He's hurt now. There was actually talks of Gardner Minshew starting this game. But in my opinion, I've been listening to WIP all week. They're all saying if you put in Gardner Minshew, it's going to be a recipe for disaster, because if you put him in, you're going to have the crazy fans with the Gardner Minshew mustaches. And you're going to have all these Gardner Minshew lovers coming out of nowhere just praising him and acting like he's going to be here for years. And Jalen Hurts is going to be 1 foot out the door already. It doesn't matter because Jalen Hurts is already gone. Jalen Hurts, after last game, proves that he cannot win in this league with his playing style. So it doesn't really matter what happens. That's why I think 975 is a joke. I think WIP is a joke. And I think podcasts are on the up. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my co-host, Dandelion. What's up, Dandelion?
What's up? So the reason I chose dandelion is because, we're talking about flowers, growing flowers, sprouting up, putting in the work, and then ultimately seeing the end result. Well, yeah, last week we were a dandelion. We were that disgusting flower that nobody wants, but you see, and you're just like, it's kind of cute. I'm just gonna leave it alone. And that's what the dandelion stands for. We just kind of cute, just leave it alone, but you should pull it out because at the end of the day, it's a weed.
It's a weed. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm going to get to this one comment right here from my buddy Ben. I've known him for a while. Actually, you watching the Flyers game? No, I'm not. And there's a reason behind this. And I know this isn't a Flyers show, but there's a reason behind this. The Flyers don't have Ellis, don't have Hayes. Right now, I don't feel like the coach fits. So for the time being, the Flyers, I don't know if they're going to figure it out, but they're just unwatchable right now. I was at the game at the Rock on Sunday, and I didn't have fun. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't have fun. So just get to that comment real quick. But going into this game against the Jets, we're going back to the Eagles. Zach, please take me from jumping off the ledge, although I've done it multiple times this year. What in God's green earth do you see in this week to tell you the Eagles have something left to get into the playoffs? Because honestly, I don't even know if I want them to make the playoffs the way that their team's designed and structured and coaching, and I don't even really care at this point. But if we were to make the playoffs, because the NFL made that stupid rule where 3 teams make it in the wild card now, what do they have to do to actually contend for that last spot? Because they're in it by a lot, honestly. You know, that third spot opens up everything. So I don't know. Sports are weird. Just tell me, what on God's green earth do they have to do?
Well, it starts with running the ball. That's exactly what they got to do. They got to run the ball consistently, continue to run the ball. And you've seen a big factor in that last weekend against the Giants, where we tried to get cute inside the 20, and red zone is where you cannot make mistakes. And 6 points were easily taken off the board. And it could have been more if we just ran the ball. If you run the ball, you could have easily at least had 10 points there, if not more. And to Jalen that doesn't really force the issues like the way that he did in the red zone. Absolutely horrid. Absolutely horrid. And, third and one, fourth and one. Why are you kicking field goals? Why are you calling run pass plays when you could run it? Use Jalen's legs, use your running back's legs, use different kinds of running aspects of it when you're down within the 3 yard line. Like, there's no need to get cute in that pass to Greg Ward, a guy that hasn't caught a ball in like 8 weeks or whatever it feels like, and you call a play for him. You know what I mean? Like, it was an odd play calling, and that's not to take away with how bad Jalen Hurts was, but it starts with running the game. If you want to make a stretch run down over the last handful of games where you have the Jets, the bye week, and then you can finish off strong, it starts with the run game and ends with the run game. The less that you put on Jalen's arm, the better it is for the Philadelphia Eagles to make the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you just nailed it right on the head. But honestly, Zach, I've been watching the Philadelphia Eagles all year. I tell my buddy this week in and week out. I've been watching this team all year, and it's like I'm just lifeless whenever I watch them. Because when I created the show and when I created my YouTube channel, it would be Philadelphia Eagles and everything else. I have 3 other sports teams. I have the Flyers, I have the Sixers, and obviously my baseball team's the Yankees. When I created my YouTube channel and this show in particular, we're on season number 2 of this show. It was the Philadelphia Eagles and nothing else. Nothing else mattered to me. When I watch this team play every single Sunday, I am lifeless. I am absolutely lifeless. I do not like the direction that this team's going in, and I cannot trust Howie Roseman making another year of picks. And he's going to stay here. He's going to be here, and it's going to be the same song and dance next year when they start the season over in September, regardless if they make the playoffs this fall or not, or when or not, whatever. January 16th this year or 9th, whatever the fuck it is. I'm just lifeless watching this current team, and probably for the future. But that's why I vent. That's why I rant. That's why there's this show, because without it, I don't know what I would do, to be honest with you. I think I would just stop watching sports in general, because let's be real. This disease fucked everything up. The way everything's designed fucked everything up. The way they're coordinating the team fucked everything up. Politics fucked everything up. Let's be real, Zach. Let's be real with each other. It's just this team is whatever, and I think the thing that turns me off the most when I'm really talking, and I hate to rant like this, you know me, I'm a ranting guy, but the thing that turns me off the most are the fans that are hyping Jalen up so much. Like, they don't want him to fail. They don't want us to get rid of him for any reason but the one in front of them. It's like they don't even watch the games. When they're watching Sundays, it's like all they want to do is just cause trouble. They want to troll, even if Jalen Hurts isn't the answer and they know that he's not the answer. They want to type on Twitter saying, we should give him another 16 starts. And then our front office listens because they're stupid. That's the problem. I've said since he started in the NFL, Jalen Hurts is nothing more than a backup. Literally nothing more than a backup. He had the perfect throw to Devonta Smith at the 18-yard line going right into the end zone. He takes the easy route, throws it right down the middle of the field at the goal line to Jalen Reagor, who Jalen Reagor dropped the ball earlier in the game. And it's not like he doesn't remember that, because, these quarterbacks have photographic memories. Well, most of them do, but these quarterbacks have photographic memories of the play call, who drops the ball, and who's open at any given time. And he throws the easy pass when he had one right there as a walk-in touchdown with Devonta Smith. I'm just so sick and tired of the whole Jalen Hurts hype. And the best part is, Zach, I like when people start their sentence when they're talking about Jalen Hurts. I hear it every day on WIP and the Fanatic. They always start their sentence, the ones that do not like Jalen Hurts, they start their sentence as, he's a good guy, but this guy is the worst quarterback of all time. I'm so sick of it, Zach. Just say he sucks. You don't have to say he's a good guy. There's so many good people out there that suck at their jobs, all right? You don't have to say he's a good guy. You don't have to cater to him, all right? He could be the nicest guy ever. It doesn't matter. He sucks at professional football, all right? He cannot play the fucking game. He can't, all right? And I've heard that line. It's like people are trying to hide something. It's like, just fucking say it. He sucks. It's not hard to say. He's a bad professional quarterback. He's bad. It's not hard to say. All right? And if people say, oh, you're racist or you don't want to give him a shot, he's 16 games into his NFL career. How many more games do you want to give him? We just lost to one of the worst Giants teams I've ever seen because he couldn't make simple throws. He threw a pick at the goal line. Like, come on. I don't give a fuck if he's a nice guy anymore. He sucks. He's Bama trash. He's garbage. We got $2 super chat. Eagles have never lost to the Jets. Yeah, well, there's always a time for a first. Thanks for the $2 super chat, though. What's up, Eddie Prince? How you doing? Eagles beat the Jets 45-19. I was there. I was at that game. It was fucking freezing. Is it time for Eagles fans to call Jalen Reagor Nelson? I think that's giving him a little bit too much credit. I think Jalen Reagor is worse than Nelson Aguilar was.
Nelson Aguilar at least had a good 2017 that extended into the Super Bowl. So let's not forget that he made some clutch drive continuing catches. Yeah. As far as the whole Jalen sucks and let's start it off with he's a nice guy, but the problem is Jalen is such a likable character. Like he's high class, always looking out for others. He's everything that you want in a team leader. But I've said this time and time again. You know, obviously, as an Alabama fan, I am an avid any Alabama fan, and especially with Jalen Hurts. I love me some Jalen Hurts, but at the end of the day, I keep saying that he needs to improve. He needs to improve.
So bad. It's
horrible. It's not about him being bad.
So bad.
I support my dudes.
You can support whoever you want, Zach.
I support my dudes, but
Zach, you can support Nathan Peterman for like he is bad, like really bad.
If Nathan Peterman went to Alabama, I probably would have supported him. As terrible as he was.
You know what's crazy about Bama? They look great on paper in college, but a lot of the players turn out to be trash in the NFL. It's like a current theme. It's weird.
If you're true. Over half of the
it's so true.
Over half of the teams in the NFL right now, a majority or the most of their players are from Alabama. Go ahead and look it up.
All right. How about Trent
Most snaps are from Alabama.
Trent Richardson, labeled one of the best running backs of all time, ran the wrong way. Trent Richardson, remember that one.
Derrick Henry. For every Trent Richardson, there's a Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram.
Josh Jacobs. Hey, and guess what? That's a guy where NFL scouts actually didn't expect much out of because he went in the second round.
Because they thought Alabama used and abused him and that he was going to be left for the dirt in the NFL. But then he found his power.
You know who else is a good Bama back, but he was taken late in the first round? Najee Harris. He's a very good Bama back, but that's another one where he could have went top 10 if they actually believed in him. So these players that come from Bama that are good, usually they're not taken early. The ones that are trash are taken early. That's what I'm trying to say.
They sit there and go, all right, Najee Harris, he can't catch the ball. Did you watch any of the games? He wasn't asked to catch the ball, but when he was asked to catch the ball, he absolutely could catch the ball. Then you take a look at whatever he did with Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago where he had like 12, 15 catches. Tell me he can't catch the ball now.
Yeah. I think Najee Harris is a beast. I think I'll give you credit on that one. He's a beast. He's a beast. But
Josh Jacobs, when healthy, he's a beast. Yeah, that's the problem. He hasn't been healthy lately.
Josh Jacobs, a one-hit wonder.
Man went from a 3-star recruit living in his car to NFL first-round pick.
Yeah, see, but here's the thing. Mark Ingram needed another guy to succeed. All right. Mark Ingram wasn't the only guy. He had Alvin Kamara and they were a great 1-2 punch. Mark Ingram as a feature back wasn't great. Like he was just average. He had his time on Baltimore. He had his time on the Houston Texans. Granted, Houston Texans suck. I understand that. But the times where he was a feature back, he didn't really do much. Today, how do the Jets give the Eagles a better competition than Giants? Because all right. Guys, I need you to use your little thing up here called your brain, okay? The New York Giants were one of the worst teams in the league going into last week with their full roster. Kadarius Toney, one of their biggest playmakers, was out. They had half their roster out last week, and they still beat us. That cornerback that picked off Jalen, I've never even heard of who that is. Like, I don't know who that is. I have no idea who that is. And they beat us with just no names. Of course, I think the Jets could beat the Eagles this week. Of course. Why not? Just play us the way that the Giants did, and you have a shot. I mean, the Jets beat the Titans, didn't they? They beat them in the regular season, didn't they, this year? I think they did. Eddie Lacy, yeah, Mr. Cheeseburger, I don't think so.
Hey, he had 2 good seasons.
Yeah. Until his hamstrings turned into fucking pig guts. Do you guys want us to beat Washington? I don't care. I'm being completely honest with you, Raider Nick, and I'll open up the phone line soon because I want to hear from you guys. But I really don't care. I'm a diehard Eagles fan, and I just don't care. I mean, I don't care. Like, I really don't. This organization, in this kind of setting, it is sad. We don't know who our quarterback's going to be next year. It ain't going to be Jalen Hurts. And if it is Jalen Hurts, there's something wrong there. The guy fucking sucks. The guy is horrible. He is a bad NFL quarterback. Repeat it with me in the comment section. He is a bad NFL quarterback. He is probably a fullback at best. He's a bad quarterback. Horrible. And people want to say, he's a backup. I don't even think that. I think he's horrible. And then next year you're looking at the quarterback class. Not very good. You have Kenny Pickett, but he played at Pitt, not a great school. They're talking about Russell Wilson waiving his no trade clause to come here. I would like that, but he didn't look too good against Washington on Monday. So it's like you look at the future of this team, and it's like, what the fuck? Because you need a quarterback. It's the most important position, and we don't have one. Zach.
You want me to talk you off the ledge about this whole quarterback situation. And here's the funny part. If we don't add Russell Wilson, are you taking another year of Jalen Hurts and seeing what comes out in the 2023 class? Or you taking Carson Strong or Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett or Desmond Ridder or any of these guys? Do any of these guys intrigue you that much? Like, I like the upside of some of these guys like Carson Strong and Malik Willis, but that doesn't mean a thing. The upside's wonderful, but when it comes to the NFL, you need more than just upside. You need to be able to put it together from shoulders up. And that's the difference in the NFL between being a very good quarterback and a not so good quarterback.
Yeah. And Russ is that good quarterback when he's healthy. I agree with that. I don't think he's completely healthy right now, but he didn't look too good the other night. So I don't know if I'd want to trade 2 first rounders for him next year, especially when he's 33. But it's something I'm gonna have to think about, and they're gonna have to think about if they do want to bring him in for the next 4 to 5 years. Because if you want to win now, you go with it. You just flat out go with it. It doesn't matter. Like if you want to win now, you go with it. If you want to wait and see how everything pans out, I guess you stick with Jalen Hurts because you're not going to trust anyone else, unless you bring back Gardner Minshew and start him next year, and then it's a complete laughingstock. So I don't know what their plans are, but right now I don't like the way the team's going. Like it's one of those. It's just one of those things where I haven't been this down on this team in ever. Not even last year. I haven't been this down. It's just weird. It's not losing to the Giants that got me down. It's the way the game was played against the Giants. It was bad football. especially when we beat the Saints running the ball. We beat the Lions running the ball. We beat who else? We almost beat the Chargers running the ball. Like we ran the ball so much those games, and then when they finally load the box and take that away, and you make Jalen Hurts throw down the field, he couldn't do it. Like that should tell you everything you need to know. You need a quarterback in this league that can throw down the field. He can't do it. Like he's fool's gold. He's always been fool's gold. He's just butt ass. And I'm sorry, he's probably a good guy, but he's bad. He's just a bad football player. And I'm sorry. It's the truth. And I don't know what else you want me to say. I'm always gonna stick with it. People are always saying, "You're not a real fan, Nitro. You bash your players." Well, I can bash my players because they suck.
It's like siblings. You can pick on your own siblings, but you hear somebody else talk about them, and that's a no-no. So when it comes to being an Eagles fan, you're allowed to criticize the players, but you hear somebody else criticize them, you're going to stand up for them.
Exactly. If I had to keep one for the next 3 years, who would you pick, Ben Simmons or Hurts? Ben Simmons. I would keep Ben Simmons. And I hate Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons is a good basketball player. Like he can't shoot, but he's a good basketball player. Jalen Hurts is a bad all-around football player. Like he shouldn't be given the opportunity to play the quarterback position in this league. It's like he's a make-a-wish child. That's what he is. He shouldn't even be given the opportunity. They should have saw after fucking 4 games last year that he doesn't have what it takes. This front office is so fucking inept. I don't trust them. Did the Seahawks miss the playoffs? I don't know. We need this winning. Okay. Saints talk. This is an Eagle show, buddy. Sorry, bud. NBA media treats Carmelo Anthony like a make-a-wish child. Well, but I'm being serious. At least Carmelo Anthony is a Hall of Famer. At least he's a Hall of Famer. Jalen Hurts doesn't even deserve the shot. He doesn't. And I know my buddy Zach loves Jalen Hurts. I understand that. The whole Bama thing, even though he didn't help them win a title because he couldn't pass midfield, because he's not a good quarterback, he loves him because he went to Bama. But he's a horrible fucking player. He's not even okay. He's horrible.
Hey, I love AJ McCarron, and what's he doing? He's a career backup.
He was better than Jalen Hurts.
But I'm just saying, my love stretches wide for these Bama players. I even loved Eddie Lacy when he went to Canadian Football League and whatever else he did.
But Eddie Lacy wasn't a bad football player. He just liked food. Everyone likes food. I like food. But when you're a professional athlete, you can't eat the way he did. That's why he became bad. When you're a professional athlete, you need to take care of your body. It's just that simple. Call-in number 518-944-4297 if you want to yell at Zach or me.
Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do anything.
I don't know, man.
You're bringing the heat. I'm just, trying to extinguish you off a little bit.
Do I like Mac Jones? Yeah, I do.
I like Mac Jones in the situation that he is.
Yeah, he's the next Brady. He already trademarked MJ10, I think.
Or is attempting to. I don't know if it went through yet.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I do like Mac Jones. I wish Josh McDaniels would open up the playbook a little more. It seems like they're trying to emulate what they had with Brady in the early 2000s. And it's so annoying because he's not Tom Brady. He's Mac Jones. And he's very accurate. He doesn't turn the ball over very much. Open up the playbook. Let it rip. Throw it downfield because he does have a very good-looking arm. And he needs to be able to use it. And for whatever reason, typical Bill Belichick team early in the 2000s, they want to lean on the defense and just have a quarterback that's good enough to do something.
Hey, Zach, let me ask you a question. If it's working, why change it? Why not make him look like Brady? Why not dumb it down a bit for him? If it is working, don't change it. Why open up the playbook if it's working? That's my piece.
All right. If the run game was working for the Philadelphia Eagles and working in the Giants game, why did they change it?
Repeat that again.
if the run game was working for the Philadelphia Eagles
Right?
and in the Giants game, why did they change it?
They had to
Why did
change
they?
it.
They
They
didn't
had to
have to
change it.
change it. They didn't
The
have to change
Giants
it.
loaded the box. They had to change it.
They were still getting their yards.
No, if you load the box, the run game's not going to work. It's not going to work. They made Jalen Hurts throw the ball down the field.
All right,
That's why.
what's better, 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 7?
2nd and 7.
Exactly. Run the damn ball.
Yeah, but they can't.
Run the damn ball.
They can't run it.
So on 3rd and 1, you liked an option to throw the ball near the end zone.
No, I think it's stupid. I think
Exactly.
3rd and 1.
Run the
If you're
fucking
at third,
ball.
if you have 3rd and 1 and you don't get it, it's an automatic 2 runs in a row. Automatic 2 runs in a row. Even if they do load the box, because that's 1 yard 2 times. You have 2 times to get 1 yard. That's simple math. All right, but that's different. That's on 1 yard to go, not 7. It's different.
But I'm just saying you won't have 7 yards if you go to pass it every first down.
But you may not get more than the 7 yards if you keep running it with a full box. You might not. Because little do we know, NFL players, even if they do suck in the NFL, they were pretty damn good college players, and they know how to tackle. So that's
Don't
just
tell
my
that to
opinion.
Alex Singleton.
I don't think Alex Singleton's that good, to be honest with you.
Exactly my point. He doesn't know how to tackle.
But he came from Canada. That doesn't count.
He was a defensive MVP or whatever the hell he was out there. I don't even fucking
But
know.
even Canada, dude, Canada's only good for maple syrup. Like, who gives a fuck about Canada?
Canadian bacon, which is really just fucking ham.
It's turkey. That's all it is, or ham, whatever.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Only reason you open up the playbook is Max. They're talking about Max. See, this is how bad the Eagles are. We're talking about other teams.
I don't mind talking about other teams. I love my Eagles, but I just love talking NFL in general.
No, yeah, that's why we're going to have an off-season show, because we could talk sports. But this is how bad the Eagles are. They're bad. Patriots matter over. I wouldn't say that. I think the Patriots are pretty good. And it pisses me off a little bit because it's like they never left.
I'm not worried for the Patriots because obviously they're Patriots, but if I was a Patriots fan, what I would be worried about moving forward is when push comes to shove, when you get into a big time playoff game, you're going to need Mac Jones to make big time plays with his arm. And if you get the turnovers and the bumps and bruises out in the regular season and you can win games, whether it's ugly or whether it's pretty, whatever way you can win games and still get this guy to advance as a rookie, then when it comes playoff time, you can trust him in a big spot. But we got a phone call, so let's go to the phone lines. Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Michael. I'm calling from Seattle, man. I follow your videos, man. I grew up here in Seattle, right? But I like both. I am a Seahawks fan, but I also do like the Eagles. I grew up. I like McNabb, and all that. And I was just listening to what you guys are saying about the Eagles, right? And I was like I got pretty upset when I found out they lost to the Giants this weekend. I was just like, I was like, how did you guys lose? I was like, what happened? I was like saying, are they not like? I was like, come on, like do something with the ball, Eagles. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, I mean, they lost because they're a bad football team. They have really bad football players. Jalen Reagor needs to go. Jalen Hurts needs to go. Some of the coaches need to go. Some of the people in the front office need to go. It's just a whole clusterfuck of shit. That's what it is. And until it changes, I don't know if anything's going to look better, because you cannot lose to a team like that Giants team. That Giants team, I wouldn't even say they looked better than us. Like, they scored, 13 points the entire game when we played the worst football of the year. So it was a game that I'm glad I didn't go to. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But it was really bad football, dude. Like, it was really, like, obviously someone had to win that game by default or not. They could have tied, but it was just, it was bad. It was really bad, dude.
Yeah, I agree. And like, because like I was just saying, man, I don't think Jalen Hurts is the problem, really. I think that from what I hear, been reading the comment sections on social media, right, for people who live on the East Coast, right, that what I've been hearing that a lot of people have been complaining about Jalen Rager dropping passes, saying Rager needs to go and stuff, and like I don't know. I think Rager. I don't know if maybe he's the problem, or I think I don't know. Maybe I feel like kind of like the blocking doesn't really seem like the best. I don't know if you agree.
Well, I thought it was the funniest quote I heard on the air was actually from Tyrone Johnson, a professional sports talk radio host on 97.5 The Fanatic. He said that if Jalen Hurts was smart, he would have saw Jalen Rager and not through to him. That's what he said. That's a professional sports talk host saying that. The guy was wide open. He was wide open. And listen, Jalen Rager is my guy, and I understand that. But it doesn't matter who's on the football field. If you're wide open, you are throwing them the ball. Now, granted, Devonta Smith was a better play. If you caught the ball, he goes into the end zone. That's the better play. Any good quarterback makes that in the NFL. But Jalen Rager was wide open. So him throwing to Jalen Rager isn't completely awful. But that's up to the coaches to put Rager on the field in that circumstance when Rager was having a really bad day. You know?
Yeah.
You don't just not throw to a guy just because you think he's going to drop it and he's wide open. He was wide open. Like, I mean, I don't know what some of these people think when they talk. Like, I think they just speak to speak. And that's why I think sports radio talk is dying. You know, it's up to the coaches to pull him out. Not that comment just annoyed the shit out of me. But to your point, Jalen Rager, I don't want to say he's a bust, but I think he's a bust. I don't know, dude. I like Jalen.
You think he's a flop?
Maybe.
You think I don't know Rager? I think he's a good wide receiver, a decent wide receiver. I don't think he's trash. I think he has. I think he needs to. He needs to work on something. Well, I mean, like most athletes do, but like I don't know. It's just. I mean, I do like Hurts. I think Hurts is a good core. I think that he. I don't know, just like something with. I think it has to do with. I have noticed from the play calling, and like I was like saying, and I've heard like stuff like the Eagles are because the Eagles haven't been running the ball very much.
Right. Right.
And I feel like I feel like they should run the ball because their running back the one that they started using, he seems pretty well. I've seen him run. I was like, yeah, you starting you should definitely run the ball more. You know, put the ball on the ground. Yeah, because then you're going to become more predictable if people are going to know what you're going to be doing if you decide to throw it.
Yeah, well, the thing is they took our run game away, so all we could do is throw, and we failed. We failed miserably, dude. And if that's a sign of things to come, I don't want to see it.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you for letting me come on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime.
Well, have a good night, you guys.
You as well, bud. So what do you think?
I still think we should have ran the ball more against the Giants. What they did in the second half was they stopped the RPO a little bit. They halted what Hurts could do with his legs and forced him to become a pocket passer. But I don't believe they fully stopped the run game between Boston Scott and Miles Sanders when he was healthy. Now, Boston Scott, you know, he looked like he was averaging 3-4 yards a carry easily, you know, after contact. So I think we needed to continue to run the ball. I just thought we got too cute with the play calling, thought we relied a little too much on the arm, and we played right into the hands of the Giants. And even Julian Love straight up said that was our game plan all along. Make Hurts throw the ball. And guess what? They did a damn good job.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to go back to the front office. Here's the thing. If you know that Jalen Hurts can't really throw the ball, you would think that you would draft a decent running back in this year's draft. Well, last year's draft. I wouldn't have relied on Miles Sanders the way they did, just because Miles Sanders really did nothing for me in the past. But I just don't know what their thought process is when going into drafting these players. I don't know what it is because they draft a diamond in the rough in Jordan Mailata. You know, he's a stud. And then the earlier picks they never nail, like ever. Like they'll nail the late round picks that no one sees coming. But then when it comes to the obvious picks, they always whiff. Like Jalen Rager for Justin Jefferson. Obviously you should have picked Jefferson no matter what. I admit to that. Who else? Who else did they pick that they completely flubbed on? They took Miles Sanders over Metcalf. Metcalf was a stud. The only issue was the off the field stuff. Metcalf was a freak in nature. And they picked J.J. Arcega-Whiteside over
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. So it's like, I don't know their evaluation. It's like they're ass backwards. And it's just something that needs to be fixed, but I don't think they're going to fix it.
All right, let's go to the phone lines.
Sweet.
Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Ronell Red, and I'm calling from Glassboro, New Jersey. And let me just tell you something. I've been watching the show for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the show. But here's my thing. The Eagles are not a good football team. And I'm an Eagles fan. But they're not. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts is trash. You should have kept Carson Wentz. And that's what it is. We should have kept Wentz. But it is what it is. We're stuck in a situation with fucking Jalen Hurts, and it's a shame.
No, listen, it's not that I agree with the whole Carson Wentz thing, because my take on Carson Wentz if you watch the show. I hate Carson Wentz, but yet you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Carson Wentz is an actual NFL quarterback. Jalen Hurts isn't. And we're stuck with him as our starting quarterback. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing having a guy that couldn't even get the job done at an SEC school with everything put around him and put him as your franchise quarterback. It's embarrassing. And, people that run the front office are a joke. They're just a joke.
Yep. And it's a shame. It really is. Because Howie Roseman, this is a guy who's so inconsistent. Like, I like Howie Roseman because I think he's witty. I think he's smart. He's great with the money and cash and everything. He drafts these diamond in the rough guys, like you said, in the late rounds. But the problem is, this motherfucker couldn't draft a fucking star to save his life. And that is the problem. You cannot expect to contend when you don't draft stars. You can't expect to contend. I don't understand why this fucking franchise is the way it is. I don't understand it. We're in some shit now. We're in some shit. We don't have a quarterback. We are in some shit.
We are in some shit. I 100% agree with you, bro. And you're bringing the fire. I fucking love it. That's a real Birds fan right there. Not one of those pussies on Twitter. But yeah, do you have a score prediction for this Sunday? That's it.
That was the end of his call. He wasn't ready to give that score prediction.
Yeah, I love the phone call, bro. Thank you for calling in. And yeah, we need more fire from fans like that, because it's like me. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of watching this weasel punk ass bitch Howie Roseman miss on the stars like this last guy said, and nail in the late round drafts when you're not really supposed to. So it is what it is at this point, because I have no say, and that's why maybe I'm lifeless. But if you guys want to call in, tell us how you feel. If you have a fired up situation and going on in your head, tell us. Vent. I might crack a smile again. But it's been brutal. It's been fucking brutal. Not gonna lie to you. If the Eagles play like that against the Giants, they might lose to the Jets. Well, what makes you think they can't lose to the Jets? What makes you think? The Jets beat the Tennessee Titans this year. They beat a number 1 seed this year in MetLife Stadium, a place that we're going back to this week when Jalen Hurts looked horrible there. So if I would bet the Jets this week, honestly. I really would. I know it's a crazy thing to say, because the Jets are just an embarrassment of a franchise, but for right now, the Eagles aren't much better. But I don't know. But then again, what was I going to say? Call number is 518-944-4297. That is 518-944-4297. We don't have any special code names for those numbers, so that's just it. It's just a phone number. But yeah, call in with your thoughts, your opinions. If you want to yell at Zach for his shirt, go for it.
For my flannel?
Yeah. It looks like a shirt in Dexter, man.
That's what I was going for. I was going for the Jim Lindsay look.
That's dope. I didn't catch this last episode. I got to watch it when I'm done.
Oh, it was good.
It was good?
They definitely dialed back Deb, so I did appreciate that.
Thank God. She's couldn't stand her. But this was a good one. I didn't read this one on air. Who do you hate more, Mike McMahon or Hurts? Whew, that's a good one. I mean, I don't hate Hurts. I just think he's a very bad football player. Mike McMahon, he came from Rutgers and he just embarrassed us. So I'll probably say McMahon. But I forgot that Zach is a Mets fan. Yeah, he's a dirty Mets fan.
Yeah, loyal. That's
I mean, they're buying
big
everyone. They're buying everyone and their mothers. So if they can't do it this year, they never will.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. The couple of the players that I wanted to keep, we lost. Noah Syndergaard, Marcus Stroman, Javier Baez.
Baez was never coming back though.
I think he would have.
I don't know. He hated the fans. I remember when the fans booed him. He was like, "Yeah, fuck these fans. I'm out." And he was out.
Motherfucker batted like 300 over the stretch of his little Mets career.
Yeah, so
he
so
played well.
deep down, you didn't want him back.
I did want him back
I don't know why.
because I want to win.
Joseph Sirianni. We need to get Smith involved this week. Get him going. Well, I mean, you can't get him involved if Jalen Hurts can't get him the ball. That's how it's happening. Stroman is a douche. Yeah, I mean, his comments this week, not very good. By the way, he blocked me on Twitter.
Marcus Stroman blocked you on Twitter?
Yeah, he blocked me on Twitter because I said I could shell a fastball off of him, and he just blocked me.
Well, his fastball is like 88 miles an hour.
Exactly. So
compared to 100 by Jacob deGrom.
See, look, blocked me. Well, whatever.
I like Marcus Stroman because he wants to pitch. Like, he pitched on a torn ACL. Like, I just have respect for him. He is a little bit of a douche, so I'm not going to lie there. I have a personal, emotional attraction to Marcus Stroman.
Why?
I just love him as the player.
What is the profile picture? I can't tell. Yeah, I can't see that profile picture. I'm like a bat at night. I can't see.
I thought it was the guy from, like, what was that movie? Robots, Mr. Robots or whatever.
I have no idea. But man,
maybe a microphone, but it kind of looks like a robot head.
A little bit. Pats fan talking. Next Brady. Are we talking about Max Jones? Yeah, I mean, if they use him the same way, maybe, yeah. Washington loses. We are in the 7th seed. Is that true?
No.
It's not true?
No.
That's pretty self-explanatory. Zach, our Tar Heels don't look very good. I didn't think you were a Tar Heels fan.
Basketball, yes.
I didn't even know that. So, like, if you're knowing that, I didn't know that.
I know. How did you know that?
Yeah, that's maybe Twitter.
You have to go a while back.
Oh,
because I really only post about North Carolina when they're playing Duke because I love picking on Duke fans.
Yeah, Duke just lost to OSU and Mike Hayes' retirement tour.
I wish Roy Williams got one.
Yeah, I hate to see it. Well, here's the thing. Coach Roy Williams is a respectable guy. Coach K's a douche. So there you have it. But yeah, the Tar Heels, they get slapped around by Duke all the time. It's not anything special, but I love seeing Duke lose for what it's worth.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
Yeah, no one likes them. From one of these live streams, I asked who you hate most in the NBA. You said Grayson Allen because you're a UNC fan. Oh, okay.
There we go. Right. There we go. Way to pay attention. I love it.
Yeah, Grayson Allen. I mean, Grayson Allen sucks, though. Zach, thoughts on Lincoln Riley?
Go get it, man. If the contract details were true from what I seen on Twitter, go get it. Buying you a $6 million house, buying out your old properties in Oklahoma. Like, goddamn, go get it. Like, that just shows you everybody's there to be had for the right price. Because I honestly did not think he was going to leave Oklahoma. And I like the bust on Lincoln Riley saying, yeah, he didn't really want to face the SEC and face real opponents every single week and real defenses every single week. But in all seriousness, going to the Pac-12, that's going to be great for him because that's an easier conference to dominate. Oregon's not that great of a team. Utah's not that great of a team. And those are two of the best teams in the Pac-12 right now. And USC will trump them with a good head coach and a good recruiter. And that's exactly what Lincoln Riley brings. He already got the number 2 quarterback recruit. He got him to flip from Oklahoma, follow him to USC.
Well, apparently Lincoln Riley's having coaches at USC recruit for him while he's still at Oklahoma. So that's a little weird. I read that up today.
Yeah, why would they do that?
It's weird, right?
Are they joining his coaching staff?
Isn't that some kind of violation?
You would think it would be.
Yeah,
But yeah, if he's getting that much money and they're giving him all those luxuries, you go get it, young man.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I'm going to talk about this Brian Kelly to LSU for a little bit because my friend who's a Notre Dame fan was actually really pissed off that he left for LSU. And here's what I want to tell all the people out there that think LSU is a worse job than Notre Dame. Go get your head checked. Notre Dame, you have to have specific grades to go to that school. That means that athletes that have the capability of being professional players can't go to Notre Dame because not all of them are that smart. So LSU, you take a bunch of money, you can get whoever you want to play, bada bing, bada boom, championship level. Notre Dame, you'd have to have the perfect athletes at every position with a brain. It wasn't happening. You could never win at Notre Dame. That's why he left.
He did a very great job with the limitness that comes with Notre Dame. And, I hate how he left because the simple fact that there is an outside chance that they could make the college football playoffs. I don't see it happening, but there's an outside chance it could happen. But you got to take a look at it this way. These jobs are going to get filled up quick. LSU, Oklahoma, all these jobs are going to get filled up quick. So if he said no and said, all right, I'm going to hold off until after this, what makes you think LSU wasn't going to move on and say, all right, Lane Kiffin, come on over from Ole Miss. This is a better job because you can get higher, better recruits here than you can at Ole Miss. And, that's a name to think about for other openings is Lane Kiffin, because he can certainly move on from Ole Miss as well.
Well, he also left with an outside chance to make the college football playoff and lose, like in the first round. So, he probably saw that coming. Even if they were to get in, there's no way that they're going to win because they don't have the talent to overcome a Georgia, even in Alabama. They just don't have the talent. They don't. They have talent to beat these schmuck teams that they face every year in an independent conference. That's what they do. They rack up their wins, and then they play a good team, and they get smoked. That's why he left. And
well, they got to decide. They got to decide. Notre Dame itself has to decide. Do you want to win championships or you just want to be really good every year? And that's really what it comes down to, because yes, like this fan's talking about, it does hurt. When they were in the ACC, they had to split their money with the ACC. They don't want to do that. They want the money from being an independent college. Well, with the independent college and the money that they're making, they're not getting the conference games. They're not getting that extra game to put a stamp on their resume, say, hey, not only do we win 11 games, we're conference champs too. They don't get that stamp. So they need to figure out, do they want to win or they just want to be Notre Dame the brand?
Yeah, exactly. And right now they are the Notre Dame the brand. That's all they are, because they would literally, in order to win a championship in this day and age, that's why they got smoked by Bama in 2012. I think it wasn't even a close game. If they want to win,
not too long ago, they got smoked by Alabama in the playoffs.
Yeah, if they want to win a championship, they're going to have to either, number one, take the grade restriction off their athletes, number one. Or number two, just pray for a miracle that their athletes are smart and gifted. That's basically it, But I would go with number one.
Think of it this way. Say there's 100 5-star recruits.
Mm-hmm.
And your grade point average has to be, let's say, 3.7.
Impossible. It's impossible.
20 of those 100 recruits have a 3.7 GPA.
Yeah.
So now you're already down to 20 out of 100.
Mm-hmm.
And of those 20, how many want to come to Notre Dame, or how many want to go to Alabama, where not only can you win, you have a direct route to the NFL, because Alabama has some of the most highly touted NFL scouts coming to their games. Like, that's the thing with Notre Dame, is you have to think of it that way.
Mhm.
There's 100 5-star recruits, but only 20 of them have a 3.7 GPA or whatever their requirements are. And then how many of those 20 with the 3.7 GPA are you actually going to get?
Yeah, and the 3.7 GPA, that's kind of tough in high school as a kid who's not playing sports because you have to do all your work all the time, and most of those classes you have to be in A-level classes to honors classes. Like you can't be in B-level classes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for a young kid, it's still a lot of work. Now add sports onto that. You know, these athletes are going to take the easy road. They're going to go to Bama. They're going to go to LSU. They're going to go to these schools that don't have those requirements. So if Notre Dame really cared about winning, they would take those requirements away, but they're never going to do it. It's just how it is. I don't know why is Notre Dame. I don't know why is Notre Dame always like this. Even I don't focus on them a lot. Well, Notre Dame is Notre Dame. I mean, they have
They're
a
a
rich history.
brand.
Yeah, they have
They
a
have
rich
a
history. Yeah, they have a really rich history. You ever see the movie Rudy? Like
Like everybody wanted to be them, everybody wanted to play for them. That's
Yeah.
what Notre Dame was quite a while ago. Now
Mhm.
they are a brand. They aren't a college football team, they are a brand. So, same thing with Michigan, like they became a brand and lost their ways a little bit. Now I know they're in the college football playoffs right now, as of right now, still got to beat Iowa, but there was a lot of people that wanted Jim Harbaugh gone from that job because they thought Michigan needed to be 13, 14 and 0 every single year
Yeah.
and didn't take for what Jim Harbaugh was consistently win you 10, 11 games, and you're going to get a bowl game and also compete for possibly making the college football playoffs. Obviously, that one hump that stood in the way for many, many years was Ohio State. They get over that hump this year, and now they position themselves to get a college football playoff. But that's the thing, people take a look at these upper echelon schools, Ohio State, Clemson, Alabama, all these teams competing for a national championship. And then they take a look at their own team and realize, we're a brand, but I also want to win a national championship. Let's move on from my great coach for an unknown. And, I'm glad Michigan didn't finally move off of Jim Harbaugh because I thought he was a great hire. I think he does a great job over there. He just hasn't gotten the quarterback down. And this year, he's gotten consistent play from the quarterback and a great running back.
All right, right now I'm going to give you my college bowl picks for this week. Most of them are championship games, so get ready, Zach. You might disagree with some of them. Oregon versus Utah. I think this week Oregon gets their revenge. Take Oregon. Houston at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is going to wipe them, even though Houston is that gritty. Houston's that gritty team, man, and that's the one game where everyone's looking at. They're seeing that maybe Cincinnati will get kicked out of the playoff that game. So Cincinnati doesn't only have to win. They have to win convincingly this week, in my opinion. But I will take Cincinnati. Baylor at Oklahoma State. I really like Oklahoma State in this game, so I'm taking them. San Diego State versus Utah State. Haven't paid attention to either team, but I guess I'll go with San Diego State since they're home. Raging Cajuns versus Appalachian State. Appalachian State.
Because they don't have a coach anymore?
What?
Because Louisiana doesn't have a coach anymore?
Right. And plus, I like Appalachian State's history. I really do. They're 10-2. They're on the road, and they're 3-point favorites. Georgia versus Alabama. Georgia boat race. Pitt versus Wake. Upset Wake. I'm taking Wake Forest. I like their team this year. Michigan at Iowa. Michigan's an 11-point favorite. Could be on upset alert. I don't think so. I think Michigan wins this game. So
it all depends on the run game. In Michigan's defensive line looks really good, so I think it's going to force Iowa's quarterback to throw. And we all know, watching Iowa, that's not a good thing. As far as Alabama, Georgia, the only hopes is that this offensive line can figure out their struggles and hold off this tough, gritty defensive line of Georgia. But I really think Georgia's going to win this game.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be close either. I really don't. I think Georgia's the best team by far this year. I don't see anyone beating them. It's weird because I look at the teams that could potentially be in the top four, and you look at teams like Michigan, Cincinnati, maybe even Alabama. Maybe with 2 losses they could still get in because they don't trust to give it to OSU or Notre Dame. So maybe they give it to them with 2 losses, 2 quality losses. So I don't know. That's stuff you have to look at. But I think the only team that can really give Georgia a look right now is Alabama. I genuinely do, because it's Alabama. They have a great coach that wins all the time, and I just feel that's the only team that could really win it. Now, maybe you could say Michigan, but I just don't. I feel like they're kind of fluky. You know how they beat Ohio State last week? I think Ohio State kind of played a bad game, and it
Yeah.
was in the snow. It was in Ann Arbor, and I just think they played a bad game.
You play that
and
on neutral field, it might turn out a little different.
And plus, you have to remember, I'm a Rutgers fan. Michigan almost lost to Rutgers on the road. So I mean, I'm putting all these things together, and I think right now, as I see it, I think Georgia's going to win the national championship convincingly. I don't think anyone's going to beat them. Cam Newton got benched. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, for PJ Walker.
That's embarrassing. Dak was good as a. Oh, he's talking about Nitro. You have to give Hurts a chance. Remember Lamar. Zach, take this one.
Nitro doesn't want to give him a chance. He wants to move on, and there's nothing I can say that's going to make him change his mind. Everything that Jalen is as a person is perfect for a franchise quarterback. But guess what wins in this league? The ability to pass the ball consistently. And that's one thing that he hasn't been able to do. And, he might not ever do it, but he's impatient. He doesn't want to give Jalen Hurts another try. And at this point, I really can't blame him. If there's a better option out there that's going to help you win games, you always go with the option that's going to help you win more games.
Yep. Zach said it, not me. So I want to go this real quick. 76ers are a joke, people. You need to stop defending them. They're just not good. They make no moves, and this is what they get. Well, right now they have 6 seconds left. They just called a timeout, and they're down by 1 point in Boston. So this is probably the wrong time for a comment like this. But if they do lose, I'll go back to it. I'm keeping my eyes on GameCast right now. I'm not really watching the game, but that would be actually a really good win if they could win.
I didn't realize that Christmas already passed. You don't buy stock into an NBA team until after Christmas.
No, especially with everything that's going on with Ben Simmons and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it. They're still going to be in the playoffs. It all depends on who they get for Ben Simmons, or if Ben Simmons is going to play. You can't. It's too early. Houston will hold Cincinnati till the fourth quarter. If that's the case, Daniel, Cincinnati will not make the playoff. Cincinnati needs to be convincing this weekend.
It's hard to keep Oklahoma State out if they beat a top 10 Oklahoma team and then a top 10 Baylor team back to back and their conference champions. It's tough to keep a one-loss Oklahoma State team out for a undefeated Bearcats team that has like the 102nd strongest schedule.
And plus, you have to see it this way. You need to look at the rank. You need to look at the ratings in the playoff. Would people rather watch Michigan versus Cincinnati, or would people rather watch Michigan versus Oklahoma State? Because Oklahoma State has beaten some tough competition this year, and they have a really good football coach, and they play in a conference that is hit or miss every year, but they were consistent this year. So if it's a close game, I think OK State gets in over Cincinnati. I agree with Zach there.
I thought it was very telling that Alabama stayed third and Michigan jumped not only Alabama, but they jumped Cincinnati, and Cincinnati stayed put at that fourth spot. I thought that was very telling by the committee. So they need to be able to put on a show and at least win by 7 points, if not more, and just look good throughout that game, because it's going to be hard to keep a team that wins back-to-back against top 10 opponents, especially when you take it and compare it to a team that struggled against Navy, struggled against Tulsa, struggled against Tulane, struggled against East Carolina. The list goes on and on. They struggled against almost every single opponent they faced. And then you take a look at Houston. Houston's dominated every single team they faced outside of their one loss.
Yep. So it's going to be one of those games. But I'm going to jump back to this real quick. The Sixers game, they lost 88-87 by 1 point. It was a low-scoring game. This is a problem that I have, and it goes back to Doc Rivers. The reason why I don't like Doc Rivers, and I do have to take back what I said about Zach's Christmas thing. You can't really analyze a team before Christmas. Well, in this case, you got to analyze the coach, because the ball was put in no other but George Niang's hands for a 3-point shot. and that was the last shot, and it got blocked by Jaylen Brown. So if you're the coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, you can go to Seth Curry, you can go to Shake Milton, you can even go to Joel Embiid in the post and win on a 2. You go to Niang, who is nothing. He's nothing. He's I don't even know what he is. And you go to him for the last shot of the game. It's like especially when Doc Rivers goes back to Boston, he wants to prove that he's a good coach again. This is one of those telling losses to me, especially with this last possession, that you might want to consider getting Doc Rivers the fuck out of here. And it really makes me mad because, I do tend to agree with Zach on a lot of things. And that last one is usually true when it comes to assessing teams for Christmas. But if you really want to go on a run this year, I know you're going to have to get Ben Simmons back or get a player for Ben Simmons. But I've said time in and time out, Doc Rivers is just a very average to bad NBA coach.
We're assessing the team, not the coach, though.
Wait, what?
I'm assessing the team, not the coach.
Not the coach. All right, yeah, that's fair.
I never bought into Doc Rivers, ever. And that old saying, well, not old saying, Jim Harbaugh just said it. Some people are born on third and think they hit a triple. That's what Doc Rivers is.
Yeah.
He was born on third and thought he hit a triple because he's been silver spoon in his mouth.
He got a superstar team against a Kobe Laker team that wasn't even near to his most talented team. And that's why they won in 6 games in Boston. I don't know, Zach. It's like my Philly teams, they just never stand a chance. The Flyers got cooked by the Rangers tonight 4-1. 7-game losing streak there. The Sixers are now 11-11 on the year with a coach that probably will never win a championship again. The Eagles are in disarray. They stink. And, I will say, even though I'm not a Phillies fan, they're pretty fucking bad too. I mean, let's face it. They have a lineup that can win you games, but their pitching, other than Zach Wheeler, is pretty horrendous. They signed a guy that I've heard of maybe once today, and that's about it. I mean, they have money to spend, they won't spend it, and Philly sports are just a joke right now. Like, they're a joke. Zach, you can take this one because I thought the last night's game was pretty funny.
All right, here's the thing. I don't think the refs cost the next game. I think Julius Randle needs to start doing certain things to get calls because the way they look at him is the way and I'm not comparing him to LeBron James, so don't take this as me comparing it to LeBron James, but the way that LeBron James muscles early in his career when he went to the hoop and he wouldn't get any calls. That's the kind of way that it works with Julius Randle because they take a look at these strong guys and you're not seeing the ball move, the arm move when they're getting fouled and they're going up strong. Julius Randle needs to start flailing his arms a little bit. And I hate flopping, but if that's what it takes to win games, if that's what it takes to get the calls, maybe you need to start doing it a little more. As far as the Mitchell Robinson foul, let's be honest. It was a foul on I forgot who it was, James Johnson or whoever nailed those 2 free throws at the end of the game. It was a foul on Mitchell Robinson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and I'll make it as self-explanatory as possible. The Nets are a good team. The Knicks are an average team. Very simple. Mm-hmm. The Knicks have a very good head coach. I'll give Thibs the benefit of the doubt. He turned that team around with a bunch of players that, let's be honest, aren't very good. I mean, Julius Randle had one of those seasons where he was a flash in the pan. Definitely not a consistent all-star. So they need to get that player that really sparks that team if they want to be consistently in the playoffs from here on out. It can't just be a coaching thing. They're going to figure out Thibs eventually. But
too much ISO ball.
Yeah, way too much ISO ball. So, I mean, the Knicks are what they are. They have a very obnoxious fan base with the bing bong and stuff like that. I mean, it's whatever. I think it's pretty fucking stupid to use a phrase like that when it comes to the subways, the dirtiest fucking thing in New York, where you put your hands on that pipe and it's like, ugh. Like it's just like you think you catch like AIDS or something from it, and that's what you go off of. I think it's pretty stupid and pretty hilarious actually that you would put that as like your main focus point when it's a Knicks fan. And I mean, I guess the shoe fits the foot because the Knicks are that dirty franchise. But yeah, that's my rant on the Knicks because they're not worth my time. A Nick fan was arguing with me about that. Yeah, I don't think Zach's going to disagree with you much. I mean, listen, my job, and everyone knows me from watching my channel over the years, my job is to sometimes, not all the time, sometimes thread the needle a little bit. Just go into someone's skin a little bit just to try to get them to say something crazy. And he's not going with it because he knows his Knicks.
I just like to be as non-biased as possible.
Yeah.
Now, do my emotions take over certain times? Absolutely. But I try my hardest to be non-biased.
Yep. Yeah, I mean he's very non-biased. I mean, unless it's Jalen Hurts, but it's also
Unless it's any Alabama player, Trayvon Diggs, Marlon Humphrey, whatever,
Trent Richardson.
Trent Richardson. I'll even back that mofo. I don't care.
Yeah,
Alabama till I die.
I don't know. There were some really bad busts out of Alabama.
But then there's some great players like Levi Wallace for the Buffalo Bills, an undrafted defensive back that has been a stud for the Buffalo Bills. There's a lot of great players.
I'll take your word for it. I don't watch the Bills. Why are the Lakers struggling this year? It's easy. It's the easiest answer of all time. Russell Westbrook. I mean, every single team that guy goes to, they lose. I mean, everyone wants to say he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He averaged a triple-double twice in his career during the season. I mean, usually when a player averages a triple-double in their season, they help their team win, right? Well, it doesn't seem like he can fit anywhere because everywhere he goes, they start losing, and that's why I didn't want him in Philly. I mean, right now, if he were in Philly, he wouldn't be helping us. I feel like he'd be hurting us more. I just think Russell Westbrook's just – I mean, if that's another definition of what I always say, stats are for losers because everywhere he goes, they fucking lose everywhere. Washington, let me look at Washington's standings real quick. Hold on. This was a team that got bounced by us in the first round last year. They were the 8th seed, I believe. Don't take me up on that. They were the 8th seed last year. This team lost. They lost Russell Westbrook and added Dinwiddie. All right. The Washington Wizards right now are 14-8, leading the Southeast Division, and they lost Russell Westbrook. So what does that tell you? He's the cancer, and it's pretty self-explanatory.
I'll tell you why I think they're struggling. 1, because they're old. 2, because they need to gel. 3, because LeBron James needs to become the second option, and there just hasn't been anybody good enough to take over the first option.
I disagree with it. I can't agree with you on that one. LeBron James was, and will ever be the best basketball player to lace up the shoes. All right. So he will never be a second option to anybody. I don't care if Anthony
2 years ago, Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis couldn't lick fucking LeBron James's shoes ever.
2 years ago, he was the first option, and they won a championship.
Ever. And
then Anthony Davis went out last year. Look what happened.
Anthony Davis is great. I'm not taking anything away from him. But every single team that LeBron James goes to, they contend. Every single one. Look at that Cleveland Cavaliers team in 2008 or 7. They were bottom feeders. They were a 10-win team. He took them to the finals. It's like.
That's a good question. Is it a sprint or a marathon?
It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it. Is it a
sprint or a marathon?
In the NBA, it's a sprint.
NBA,
it's a sprint.
It's a marathon.
No.
Because you don't care.
I'll give you a reason. I'll give you a fucking reason.
Go ahead.
It's a sprint because all you have to do in the NBA is stack your team. That's all you have to do, and you'll win a championship. That's why it's a sprint. Look at the super teams over the last 10 years. Golden State won 4 times. Look how many players they had. Look how many of the star players they had. No one was beating that team. Kevin Durant went down with that heel injury. Understandable. Or was it Achilles? Achilles injury. Klay Thompson went down. They lost to the Raptors because those 2 players went down. It wasn't because the Raptors were better. It's because those players went down. So in the NBA, it is a sprint over a marathon. In any other sport, I agree with you. It's a marathon over a sprint. But in the NBA, it's all about the talent that you have at all times. And that's why the Lakers right now are failing, because their talent doesn't mesh up because Russell Westbrook is a piece of shit.
I'm going to tell you why I think it's a marathon. And I agree with everything that you said except for the sprint
Exactly.
part. The sprint part comes in when it's the NBA playoff time.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the regular season anymore. Nobody cares to win 73 games in a regular season because we've seen what it did. It tired out. You didn't win an NBA championship. You won 73 games for no reason.
I'll tell
Nobody cares about the regular season anymore. LeBron doesn't care about being the first seed. He's going to get into playoffs and get into playoff LeBron mode, and it doesn't matter where they land.
exactly.
So
I'll tell
that's why
you.
I think it's a marathon because he's going to take time off. They do need a guy to step up, and unfortunately, no one has. So LeBron's having to be the guy that carries the team yet again.
Do I think the Suns are going back to the finals? Well, that's another team where everyone overlooks them. They are what, 17-3. They have a great winning streak right now. They beat Golden State the other night. That's another team that has a ton of superstars on their team. They have Chris Paul, they have Ayton, they have Booker. They have a great team. They have these superstars. So can they go back to the finals? Yes, absolutely. They added Chris Paul. Ever since they added Chris Paul, they've been great. That's another definition of a player that goes places and they win. Chris Paul, that's why I put Chris Paul a top 5 point guard of all time. Because everywhere he goes, that team gets better. Everywhere, and it's just one of those things where, as a Sixers fan, it kind of hurts because we are wasting Joel Embiid's career. Like, we are wasting it because we don't have a point guard, and you need a point guard in this league right now. I like Maxey, but he's not cutting it. He needs to slow the game. The game needs to come to him. It needs to slow down a bit. All right, and it's going to take a couple years. We need a point guard right now. If we got a Dame Lillard tomorrow, we would be in the show. We would. Because this team will be good enough with the role players that we have in Danny Green, Seth Curry, all the backups that we have. It didn't even matter who the coach was at that point. If you have Dame and Embiid on the same floor with Seth Curry, a decent three-point shooter, and Danny Green with his defense, a team might go to the finals. So it's
Make me an offer for Damian Lillard.
An offer for Dame?
Yeah, let's say I'm Portland's general manager and you're Philly's general manager. Make me an offer.
Okay. I will give you Ben Simmons, 2 firsts, and a second.
I want Ben Simmons, 2 first rounds, and Tyrese Maxey.
Deal.
There we go. That's what I would do because that gives you pieces for Portland to be able to build, have young guys, because Ben Simmons is still a young guy. You still got CJ McCollum, which you can trade for more assets. And then, you guys got what you want. You have a playmaker that not only is a playmaker, he can create his own shots. And when push comes to shove, remember what Jimmy Butler used to be for this Phillies team when it came to clutch time. That's what you got with Damian Lillard. Yep. You don't have that on the Philadelphia 76ers. No. And I'm sorry, Joel Embiid is just not that go-to guy when you need a bucket late in the fourth quarter, but Damian Lillard would be.
I thought you were going to say something else. You were scaring me there for a little bit.
I like Joel Embiid, but he makes too many mistakes down the stretch. He forces it too much because he's got the talent and he's the go-to guy. But if you had a real true go-to guy like Jimmy Butler, like Damian Lillard, this team is a bona fide NBA championship contender.
Yeah, and like I said, I like Maxey, but the window is right now. I mean, if you keep Maxey, your team might he turns into another AI. That'll be great. But you don't know what you're going to have with Maxey. That's the problem with AI. AI, he was a great player, one of the best of all time, pound for pound, in my opinion. But look at the teams that they put around him in the years where they could have won a title. He didn't have a team around him. He had a bunch of washed-up journeymen. Well, not journeymen, but washed-up players. He had Dikembe Mutombo at the end of his career. That was probably the best player he ever had with him. And that was it. He was here for 10 years. People loved him because he was phenomenal. But look at Kobe and look at AI. Kobe had a great team around him. AI did not. You got to put teams around him. And that's the thing. That's why I would put Maxey in that deal. Because putting Maxey in that deal assures that I get someone like Damian Lillard who could take a shot in the clutch. And you have Joel Embiid. You have 5 years left of Embiid at least. You'd have Dame for at least 3 to 4 years. You could add on pieces in the draft. You'll have Seth Curry. You'll have Danny Green. All these players played in the playoffs. All right, and it's ready to go. It's ready to go right now. We're not talking about the future anymore. That's what the process was for. Right now, the process has failed. That's the reason why I would add Maxey in there. And I would do it in a heartbeat. And the 2 firsts and Ben. I would do it in a heartbeat because you need that final piece. It is go time right now. And I know the Portland Trailblazers would accept that offer. They would. And I'm sorry, Maxey. You're smiling every game. You know you love it here. We cannot wait any longer. It's been too long. It's been way too long, dude.
That's the job of a general manager. You have to make trades that not everybody's going to like, not everybody's going to agree with, but you got to risk it to get the biscuit. And that's what the Philadelphia 76ers need to do. They need to realize we have Joel Embiid. We have very good role players around him. We have Tobias Harris, but we need that guy to get us over the hump, and unfortunately it may cost you Tyrese Maxey. And you take a look at, and this is going way back, so I don't remember the exact details of the trade, but when the Thunder traded away James Harden originally to the Houston Rockets, that was a move that the Houston Rockets absolutely made and gave up some pieces that they thought were going to be good young talent. Now, obviously, I think one of them was Victor Oladipo. He started blossoming later in his career, but you don't know how these guys are going to pan out. Tyrese Maxey looks great right now, but what's he going to be next year or the year after? You don't know if he's going to continue that or the NBA is going to figure him out or whatever the case may be. You got to sell. You got to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah. And Dame is that guy. Dame's a guy that could get you 50 points on any given night. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and players like that just don't come around. So it's like if I were a GM, I would absolutely consider that and I would do it. But that's why I don't have faith in Philly sports because they never make the right call. They never do. Nitro, did you know that Joel Embiid is from Cameroon? Yeah. Did you know that Joel Embiid didn't start playing basketball until he was 19 years old? That's the truth. He was more of a soccer player, which is crazy because he's a 7-foot-tall giant.
I'm laughing at that next comment. Yep.
Hold your L, Eagles fans. We own you. You own us? Okay. Not even gonna. Game. Yep. I'm not even going to. Yep. Yeah. Own us. We're 33. What was the record?
The last 33-8 or something. I don't know.
33-11 or something like it was
something crazy.
Something dumb. Yeah. I mean, it was. I'm not even gonna cater to that. Siakam is from Cameroon too. Oh yeah. I mean. I don't know too much about Cameroon, but it seems like a lot of talent comes from there. But yeah, I mean, we have time for 1 or 2 phone calls. Obviously, it's been kind of dry, but we've been having a good show so far. So, you guys want to call in 518-944-4297. I saw Danny Lukenheimer in the comment section, our regular caller usually. I'm shocked he hasn't called in, but yeah, if you guys want to bring it, say whatever you want. 518-944-4297. The lines will be open for at least another 15 minutes.
Now I know he's just trolling, or they.
We beating you down. Stupid. Sixers suck, man. I'm pissed. We really got into our home team. It doesn't even matter, bro. Like I said, I have a partial season ticket plan. My next game is against the Jazz next week. I'm going to every single game. Every single game that I own, I'm going to. And I do feel like that they will get something for Ben, or Ben will ultimately come back. That's what I think will happen. And I think the fans will have to accept that, unfortunately. But my main cause of concern is Doc Rivers. Like, that's my main cause of concern because how we lost the game tonight, it's not good. That's not good coaching, and it's just he's been doing that his whole career, and if he didn't have a super team that one year, they wouldn't have won. And with a super team like that, you should win multiple years. He only won 1 year. My phone has been having issues. Oh, sorry to hear that, buddy. We miss your voice. We're so out of rhythm right now. Yeah, it's coaching, dude. It's a coaching issue. Now, who else is out there? You got to look at the list. If you're going to replace him, who are you going to replace him with? I couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. So that's why they're probably going to hold on to him. But I'm not a fan of Doc at all. But yeah, Zach, Eagles this Sunday against the Jets. How pumped up are you?
I'm more pumped up for the Georgia-Alabama game, to be honest with you.
I don't know why. Is that like something that you are more pumped up about, but you're not pumped up about because you don't want to watch the Eagles Jets game, or you do want to watch the Eagles Jets game and you're just not pumped up about it?
I'm going to watch every single game that I can. I got 2 TVs going. I wish I could have like 5 TVs going, but I'll have 2 TVs going. It's just this is a game. This is what makes good teams playoff teams. You have to beat the teams you're supposed to. Compete against the great teams, beat the bad teams, and then play above your means against the average teams. And playing the Giants the way we did last week, that was a game that if we wanted to be taken seriously as a playoff contender, that's a game that you should have won. This is another opportunity for a game if they want to prove themselves as a true playoff contender. And I know the playoffs aren't looking that bleak with, the 49ers who are a better team, the Vikings that are a better team. But if you want to be taken serious, you have to win the games you're supposed to win. We got a phone call, so let's go to the phone lines.
By the way, my favorite foreign NBA player is Luka Doncic.
Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Anthony from New Brunswick.
What's up, Anthony from New Brunswick?
Doing all right, I guess. How about yourself?
Horrible.
Good.
Yeah.
Horrible and good.
So, wait, what's up?
Nothing. Nitro's doing horrible.
Doing horrible.
Oh.
The world fucking sucks, Anthony.
I know it does. It does. Yeah, I peeped your video in your live stream. Yeah, a lot of what you said. I mean, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it sucks.
But yeah.
But
anyway,
let me ask you a question, all right? Like before you get to your main point. Is it true that Rutgers made their students take the vaccine to go there?
Yeah, so Rutgers did like back in I can't remember what it was, like March or April, they did say that like if you did want to live on campus that you did have to take the vaccine.
Oh, to live on campus, not go to the classes?
I think I'm not sure if it was to go to classes. I think that might be the case, but the thing is, like for classes, we have to all wear our masks anyway, regardless if we're vaccinated. Like, I'm not sure if that's a class thing. I think that might be the case because if you do commute, yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, if you do attend in person, I guess yeah, that is the case. But
typical.
Yeah, I mean, if you're online, I mean, I don't really see why you'd have to be vaccinated if you're online. But yeah, I do think basically any sort of form of in-person, whether you live here or go to class, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's a vaccination thing.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for clearing that up. That's brutal. But anyway,
Yeah.
what's your point on the thoughts on the Birds or wherever you want to call?
On the Eagle Jets game?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think on Sunday we played like by far the worst game that we could have played. I don't think that we're gonna play as bad as we did against the Jets. Like we played probably the worst game that we've played basically all year, and we still should have won. Because you go to the last drive in the second half when Hurts threw the pick. Number one, yeah, it was a bad play. Like they should have, he should have at least like thrown away. They could have at least gotten 3 there. But go back to the previous play on the drive. Boston Scott scored a touchdown, but I think it was Nate Herbig was called for a penalty, which brought us back. So like despite all the offensive misfortunes that we had, we still should have won this game. We just made one too many mistakes. And then you go to the final drive. You got Rager who drops 2 crucial passes, and also on the same last play, you have Jalen Hurts who just completely misses Devontae. Any good quarterback makes that throw. And Hurts threw 3 picks, and obviously, when you have 4 turnovers, and Hurts had like 2 drop picks on the last drive, so he should have thrown more, honestly. But yeah, if you have 4 turnovers, that includes the Boston Scott on the last play. You're not going to win games. And it's just a bottom line. And we still almost beat the Giants. Now, that tells you how bad the New York Giants are. And the New York Jets, as we know, they suck. So if they just play just a little bit better,
they should be able to win this game. But I mean, like, we wouldn't have been as successful running the ball because obviously the Giants stacked the box a lot more. But I mean, like, if the passing game isn't working, I feel like you would have at least had to try. Maybe we wouldn't have been as successful, but I mean, we would have at least had to try running the ball because if you have a quarterback that can't throw downfield, you got to adjust your game plan just a little bit. But I mean, we'll see what happens on Sunday. But I think we should be able to win because last week was probably the worst game we could have played, and we still were like just right there.
Oh, I agree, man. I mean, here's the thing, and first and foremost, I want to thank Haley Marie in the comment section. $20 super chat. She says she just wanted to share some support to the pod. I really appreciate it. You did not have to do that. But yeah, that's coming from a Giants fan too, and that just shows that maybe our show reaches out to other people. But I really appreciate the donation and God bless. But anyway, going back to what Anthony was saying. We should beat the Jets just because the Jets are a very bad football team with, in my opinion, a coach that's not fit to call an offense. He's a defensive coach in Salah. I just don't feel like him and Zach Wilson are a mesh. I don't think they'll get it together, and I think he could be a one and done type of coach because everything I said about the guy came true. He's a meathead, and he's just another Jets coach. He's just another Jets laughing stock. So I feel like this week the Eagles could get off the schneid. I think they could win. But with that said, if the Jets and Mohamed Salah, not Mohamed Salah, the Liverpool player, Salah, if Salah has his defense mind in him this week, he would bring and load the box like he did last week. That's the only thing that's scaring me. That's the only thing that's scaring me. Because if he goes away from the offensive game and he brings the defense this week and loads the box like they did last week, I hate to break it to you, we do lose. And I didn't really think about that till now. We do lose this game if he ends up loading the box because he is a defensive mind. But if they don't load the box and they let us get balanced, I think we win pretty convincingly, honestly, because the Jets are bad.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets just have, one of the worst teams, one of the worst rosters in the league. I mean, like, I sort of agree with what you say. Like, yeah, like if they do load the box, like, yeah, we would have some trouble running the ball. But at the same time, I mean, like, it's the Jets. So, like that's really the only explanation you can really give. It's the Jets, So they should be able to win this game. Whether how much it's by, they should be able to win this game. Just as long as they just go in and just play competent football, this shouldn't even be close, honestly. Because the Jets are that bad. Not like we're good, but because we're not, obviously, but the Jets are just that terrible. And last week we did not play competent football. We played very incompetent football. But yeah, I mean, they just gotta go in there, whether they load the box, I mean, we'll see what happens, I guess. I mean, I know they're not gonna have Jordan Howard, which is gonna suck, but we should be able to get him back for week, I think, week 15 probably, because we have a bye after the Jet game, and I think they said he was out like 3 weeks or something when he got hurt. So
yeah,
should be able to get him back then, which will be obviously great for our running game. But yeah, I mean, and like, look, I'm not like big on Jalen Hurts at all. He kind of just is what he is at this point. But I don't think he's going to play as bad as he did in the Giants game like the rest of the year, because if we're being completely honest right now, that was probably Jalen Hurts' worst game of his career. Like, if we're being completely honest, like, I don't think he's a good quarterback, like, at all, but I don't think he's that bad. Like, I don't think he's, and the thing is, if you go to the previous game where he was playing good football, I don't think he's that good either. I think he's just somewhere like in the middle. But, regardless, whether it was Hurts, whether it was Minshew playing this game, should be able to beat the New York Jets. Let's just hope that we can get back on track. Because if you lose to a team like the New York Jets, yeah, your season's over. You're go to 5-8 after losing to very bad Giants and Jets teams. But if you win, you're 6-7. You're still in the thick of the wild card race. So, I mean, will they do anything in the playoffs? Absolutely not. But it's still, I still love seeing this team win football games. But we're just gonna have to see what happens. We have the schedule. We just cannot go into MetLife and play the same way we did last week at MetLife.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. To the Jalen Hurts point about him not having a worse game, you know, it's crazy because I brought this up at the beginning of the show. You know, Zach obviously has this thing for Jalen Hurts because he went to Bama, so he's gonna have that little soft spot for him. But for me, you know that I could be mean whenever I want. Now I'm not gonna be mean to Jalen. Well, I don't want to be mean to Jalen Hurts because he is a nice guy, quote unquote. I mean, I don't know him personally, but he seems like a nice guy. um, but the thing about assessing and valuing the Philadelphia Eagles quarterbacks, because they are my team at the end of the day, um, I think he has the potential to be the worst Eagles quarterback of all time, up there with Bobby Hoying and Mike McMahon. So for me, people are saying he can't have a worse game. I disagree with that. I think he can have a worse game. I think he's that bad, especially if they load the box and make him throw again. I think he's gonna have maybe a worse game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's Mike McMahon bad.
Oh God, yeah, Rutgers pride, right?
He's bad. He's bad. Yeah, he went to Rutgers.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, then again, I mean, at Rutgers, I mean, McMahon heavily outplayed, Bedrell. So
Yeah.
yeah, that not fun. Anyway, so I don't know if he's like Mike McMahon bad. That might be a little bit harsh. I mean, his arm absolutely stinks. But I mean, I'm talking about Hurts right now. His arm absolutely stinks. But I mean, his mobility, does give him a few extra, bonus points. Like in my time of being a fan, the starting quarterback that I've watched since watching the Eagles, I've seen McNabb, start games. I've seen, Michael Vick, Vince Young, Nick Foles, Sam Bradford, Mark Sanchez. When he's definitely towards the bottom. He's probably in the tier of probably Vince Young, Sanchez, and Cobb. Probably. I mean, Cobb. I think only I think I only saw him start one game, but I mean, Cobb was not good at all. He's probably somewhere in that thick of things.
Now
I don't know if he's.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's this man bad.
I mean, Cobb. I didn't think Cobb was bad. I just thought he was why would you even contemplate making him your franchise quarterback in the first place? He's the one guy you're going to after your franchise quarterback just left after 10 years. He's the guy you're building your team around. Why? He came from where? Houston? That didn't make any sense. And then Vic obviously came back from prison and balled out. But he was a pocket passer. The thing with Kevin Cobb was apparently he had an arm somewhat. Jalen Hurts never had an arm. He didn't even have an arm in high school. So
no, he didn't.
If you want to make a franchise quarterback out of this guy, you got to know that he has somewhat of an arm when he doesn't. So that's the thing that I'm a little bit concerned about when it comes to the future. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with Cobb, they definitely had those plans of making him the starter because they took him in the second round when McNabb was still here. So they obviously were focused on developing him down the road. When McNabb eventually would have left. I wasn't a fan back in 2007, but their thought process was probably just because McNabb was obviously getting hurt too much, and plus not they never questioned his talent. It was just he was getting hurt too much, and he was sort of nearing the end. And now, granted, he did take us to the NFC Championship game in 2008. That's really when I actually started watching them. But yeah, so he took us to the NFC Championship game then. So he definitely wasn't nearing the end at that point, but they obviously did have a plan, to he was maybe going to be the guy down the road. And once he left, they're hey, Cobb's here. We've developed him, for 3 years or 2 or 3, whatever it was. Let's just, let's give him a shot. Obviously, it didn't work out. Vic took over and played like crazy. But I mean, yeah, I guess that's what the thought process was. But yeah, Hurts, bottom line is, he's not the guy. I did see a report that Adam Schefter, I didn't listen to what he was saying, but I did see that he believes that Russell Wilson will waive his no trade clause if it means coming to Philadelphia. So I would love that. I know Russ is kind of having a down year right now, but he is playing injured right now, so can't really, make a full judgment on this season. He's still ultra talented. I could argue that if you had Wilson on this team right now, healthy, this team honestly could be like probably 7-5, 8-4, if I had to guess.
With this offensive line, this team would be 9-3 right now.
Wait, what's up?
With this offensive line currently, this team right now with Russell Wilson would be 9-3, and I'm confident saying that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even so. I mean, we should have, with Russ, I mean, we probably would have beaten the 49ers, probably would have beaten the Chargers. I mean, I know Hurts played well in the second half of the Chargers game, but he missed 2 crucial throws in the first half to Goddard and Smith. I mean, in this past Giants game, you can't tell me if we didn't. Yeah, you had Russ playing, I had 3 games right off the bat. 8-4, 9-3. Yeah, that sounds about right, with you saying 9-3. But regardless, if Russ is on this team next year, and if Devontae Smith develops the way I think he's going to next year with Russ, this team will be a borderline Super Bowl contender. They'll be definitely in the six. They'll definitely be a fringe playoff contender, but I don't know if they'll quite reach that Super Bowl contending level again. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I truly believe that with Russ, this team will do things next year, but we're still gonna have to wait it out, sadly.
Well, first of all, thanks for the phone call, Anthony. You're one of our better callers every single week.
Thank you.
Russell Wilson would only waive his no trade clause to come to the Philadelphia Eagles if he believes that the Philadelphia Eagles can win a Super Bowl. That's the only way he'll do that. And the reason why I say the Eagles would be 9-3 right now is because what 3 losses would they have with Russell Wilson behind this offensive line? Yeah, I mean, even running the ball with Howard or Miles Sanders, you have Russell freaking Wilson, who's a Super Bowl champion. What 3 teams would they have lost to? Tampa Bay probably still, because Tampa Bay was boat racing them before they left the gas pedal.
Dallas.
Who else would they lose to? Let's think 3 losses. Tampa Bay. Dallas, maybe, possibly, maybe.
It was a 20-point game, so I'm just trying to be fair here. But
yeah. Dallas came to play that game. I'll give Dallas. I was there.
Yeah, Dallas, Tampa.
Dallas, Tampa,
Kansas City.
Kansas. I don't know, man.
Kansas City. Kansas City. They didn't even punt. So,
yeah.
I mean, we could be biased all day and say that we'd be 12-0 with Russ, but I don't. But I don't think we would have beaten Kansas City. That was the defense was absolutely horrible.
That's what I'm saying.
And I get.
Danny said Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Well, the Raiders kind of killed us, bro. So I might have to agree with that.
We were up 30. We were down 30-7.
Yeah.
Against the Raiders, that we just kind of turned up in garbage time. But yeah, I mean, maybe we do. Maybe we do win with the Raiders because Hurts was absolutely abysmal until the fourth quarter, like how he is in most games. But yeah, I'm still hoping we can just rebound and get to 6-7. Not a great record, but I mean, with how wide open the wild card spots are, I'd love to get a 6-7 seed because hey, if anything, if we get a 6-7 seed with Jalen Hurts, do you think that doesn't make Russell Wilson think that we do things next year if he's on the team? Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he's going to leave Seattle. Seattle has nothing left to offer, and Pete Carroll's going to come quick right behind him too.
They don't even have their first-round pick. They just gifted it to the Jets with the Jamal Adams trade. Joe Douglas absolutely finessed. I mean, just finessed Schneider for that. It was just insane.
Yeah, but they have problems too. I mean, so Salah's. I don't think he's a horrible coach. He's just not really a big fit. They have their problems there, but yeah, I agree. He did finesse them, and that's what Joe Douglas did with us. He won us the Super Bowl, so it's.
I miss Joe Douglas, man. I do.
I do too. But then again, Anthony, thanks for the phone call. I really, really appreciate it, and bring it every single week, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. What a good phone call. That was a good one. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing about Jalen Hurts is I know like some people like Danny want to give Jalen Hurts the benefit of the doubt and say, he's not horrible, but he's not the guy, and he'd rather have Russell Wilson here. I'm just gonna save you the time. Anthony, you're probably a really nice guy. Jalen Hurts is horrible. Like, I'm the guy, I am the voice of reason. All right. And we're 1 hour and 40 minutes into this show. So do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. I am the voice of reason when it comes to this. I am the most honest guy on the face of the earth, or at least I think I'm the most honest guy on the face of the earth. If you find one more honest than me, tell me. I am the voice of reason. Jalen Hurts, say it after me. Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback. There is no sugarcoating it. He is a BAD quarterback, a heart rip ball quarterback, right? I can't name one starting quarterback in the league right now worse than Jalen Hurts. I can't. I really can't. And if you say Trevor Siemian, you're lying. You're lying. Trevor Siemian, did he look bad against us? Absolutely. But that guy won some key games for the Denver Broncos. Trevor Siemian on this team would be serviceable. Jalen Hurts, the reason why we won was because of the running game and his taking off from the pocket. So it is what it is. And people are making fun of the voice of reason, saying Reagor would be a Pro Bowler. Listen to me, Jamie. I think that's your name. Or is it Jami? I don't fucking know. Listen, I know you want to make fun of me because I just spit a lot of truth. But here you go. I admit it because I am a man. I'm a 29-year-old man. I admit it that I was wrong about Jalen Reagor. I admitted it. He was my guy. I was biased. He had a horrible quarterback thrown to him at TCU, and he caught balls at a 31% passing completion ratio. That means that the quarterback completed 31% of his passes, and Jalen Reagor had 1,000 yards receiving in that year with that quarterback. I'm sorry that I got that wrong because that is horrendous, and he made nothing out of something. Well, he made something out of nothing. So I'm sorry. I apologize. When it comes to looking at that stuff, I thought I'd be right, but the guy is in his own head. He's not mentally there. So I was wrong. But I wish he was a Pro Bowler. Then I'd be right. But I don't think he's going to last another year.
Let's be honest. It's not like the Eagles were the only ones that had an eye on Jalen Reagor. He had a second round grade on him. And when we did our draft show, I said, he might have been there in the second round, but I understand they had a need for speed, and that's why they went for him. I personally liked Brandon Ayuk. I wouldn't have mind Justin Jefferson either way. But, it's just something that they attacked in the offseason. They wanted speed, and that's what they did in that draft. They went all speed, and that included Jalen Reagor.
Haley, a Giants fan, thinks Reagor has potential. That's a Giants fan. And she thinks that he's just going through a slump. It's possible. It's very possible. And I hope you're right. I do. Because I have a Reagor jersey, and I don't want to throw it in the trash. He's a terrible passer, but has mobility. Okay, I'll admit it. Deep down, I know he's not the answer. Deep down, it's not even deep down. It's okay. You could say he's not the answer. You're not going to go out and buy his jersey. He's not. It's a waste of money. I only bought Jalen Reagor's jersey because they picked him at the spot where I wanted them to pick him. I thought I played GM that night. That's how much I predicted that. They picked him over Justin Jefferson, and I called it. That's why I bought his jersey. But you're not going to go out and buy a Jalen Hurts jersey. Jalen Hurts, what has he done? He's done nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's Bama trash, like I said before. Is what it is. Jerry Mejas, 199 super chat. Thank you so much, Jerry. Justin Jefferson was the best one. No, he was not. Wait, at that time?
At that time when the Eagles
I agree. Sorry, I was about to rip you a new one. I apologize. I was gonna say, in my opinion, I had CeeDee Lamb the number one. That was my guy, and then Dallas picked him.
Yeah, at where we were picking, I wanted either Justin Jefferson or Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon,
I thought Jalen Reagor was somebody we could have grabbed in the second round, potentially early third round. But it's not like he wasn't on other people's draft boards. Like, a lot of people would have whiffed on Jalen Reagor.
I wouldn't say Broncos and Saints games are flukes. No, I wouldn't say that because we ran the ball with succession. They couldn't stop it. I wouldn't say they're flukes. No, I would say you're more right than wrong. You called Wentz being done here before last season. I remember the Wentz call. Yep, and that's another thing I don't like about the fans and what they turn into. They stick with players too long, even when they're done, and they'd rather be right than wrong. But I'm always more right than I am wrong, just like Danny admitted. And it's something that people don't like to get used to because I guess I come off kind of arrogant. But it is what it is. At least I'm more right than I'm wrong. That's how it is. Saints are pretty bad though. Yeah, they are, but they still have a good coach. But wow, we're almost 2 full hours into the show, Zach.
I don't even want to talk about the Saints. I don't even understand what the hell they're doing over there.
Yeah.
Let's pay Taysom Hill all this money. Oh, wait, let's give him another extension on top of his new deal.
And not play.
But we're not going to play him at all the last 2 games. Like, I don't even know what they're smoking over there.
Yeah. I don't know. The Brunson fans are asking for refunds on their Hurts hats. Their Hurts season hats. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like some people shouldn't talk football like some kids shouldn't be born. It's just how it is. But it is what it is. There's a thing on YouTube there's a thing in the world called social media, and everyone has one of these nowadays. So you could put your thoughts on camera. Some people have the charisma, some people have the personality, and some people get fans because people like their personality and they don't care what else they say because they make them crack up or they're entertaining. And that's a majority of the content creators out there. They don't listen to what they say. They like them because of their personality and they watch them. And that's a lot of people out there, unfortunately. I'm going to read a couple more of these, then we're going to get off because I know Zach is exhausted. Or at least I guess that. I'd like to exactly who wouldn't? Just to sit the bench, right?
I think he's going to start this week, but yeah, pretty much. He sat the bench the last 2 weeks, got paid all that money on top of all that money they just signed him to, that huge 2-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sign him to this weird, if you're the franchise quarterback, this is how much you're going to make. If you're not the franchise quarterback, this is how much you're going to make. Like, if you're going to pay a man that much money, you got to get him involved, whether it's quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, doesn't matter. Get him the fuck involved.
Exactly.
It's a waste of money.
The King Mongo, or is it Mango? Man, I'm still reeling for that pitiful Giants loss. The fucking Giants. But I'd say we finished 9-8. Won't shock me if we lose to the Jets. Just give us our draft picks. And the way I see it, listen, I have to do a show every week, no matter if they win or lose. So I don't care if they win either. It's actually better if they lose because I'm always angry when they lose. So it would give you guys a show. But yeah, I'd rather have a better pick.
If we lose to the Jets, we're not finishing 9-8.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I mean, I would rather have the pick over the playoffs this year because if we get to the playoffs, I'm not in it to go to the playoffs and get smacked. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not. Because if we go to the playoffs, we're going to play the number 2 seed overall, and that's not going to go down well. So why would you guys want to do it? I don't understand that. But
and the number 2 seed could be Green Bay Packers. It could be Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It could be the Arizona Cardinals.
Imagine playing Green Bay in Green Bay.
Oh, no. That would be rough. Although Green Bay does struggle with mobile quarterbacks, but that's about it. And they do struggle with a physical run game.
Oh, yeah. And Aaron Rodgers lost his last time against us in Green Bay, which means that probably won't happen again. 199 super chat collapse for Corral. I'm not for it. I thank you for the 199 super chat, but I don't know, and I'm being honest. I don't know what people see in Corral. I think he's whatever. That's just what I think of him. I mean, if we're gonna draft anybody, it would be in the late first round, and I think it would be someone like Malik from
Liberty.
from Liberty, or Kenny Pickett. Those are the two, but I would draft him later. They beat us in Green Bay. Yeah, I see. My head is like that was the one where Jalen Hurts came in. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast. We really, really appreciate you guys coming in and joining us through these tough times every single week, especially when your teams are really bad. COVID's going on. The political world is trash. The world is just getting worse and worse and worse. Thank you for tuning in with us. We know this is an escape for you guys. And listen, if you guys are dealing with anything, I'm going to put mine and Zach's Twitter handles down here in the comment section. If you guys are dealing with anything, don't be afraid to DM us, and we'll talk to you. Zach, what's your handle?
Zach FS980. ZACH FS980.
980. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put my handles in there. Well, my handle and Zach's handle. And if you guys are dealing with anything, if you guys want to talk to somebody, just talk to us. We might be doing something at a time, but we will respond. And we'll always be here for you guys because you guys are here for us. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. And I really hope you guys enjoy our content as much as we enjoy producing the content. And we will have a show every single week after the season. And we'll be talking every single sport because obviously Zach has that job up in Albany. And he does this religiously by himself. So me talking to him and then having you guys call in with your phone calls, it just makes the show even better. And then obviously I have my show every Monday. That's me solo, but I'll bring on anyone. If anyone wants to be a guest, I'll just bring on anyone. Even Zach, if he wants to talk, go into that underground world of politics and stuff, he could do it.
No.
Yeah, it's not his type of thing. But yeah, with that said, another successful show. Pretty sure we nailed on everything. And before you guys leave, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and share it around to your friends and family. And if you follow us on Facebook, share that around as well. It'll really help grow the podcast and future shows in advance. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are out of here. And as always, go Birds.
Go
We're out.
Birds.
Bye.